Have you ever felt lonely? Most people have at some point, and it's awful, but it can also be dangerous for your health. Chronically lonely people are at higher risk of physical health issues like cardiac disease and immune deficiency, and mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and suicide. In fact, the mortality rate associated with loneliness is on par with smoking and alcoholism. My thesis explores loneliness in the homeless population. So why is that important? Well, homelessness is not a solitary experience, and many homeless form bonds out of companionship and survival. The Rudd government injected funding into housing the homeless, which, while a great thing, caused issues as many were housed far away from their social networks. A UK study found that loneliness was the primary reason for newly housed individuals leaving and returning back to old friends and habits. We don't know much about loneliness in the homeless, apart from the fact that many homeless show risk factors towards it, such as high rates of mental disorder and social rejection. So my thesis looks at how these different factors interact to increase the risk of loneliness for this group, or in other words, exploring the relationship between loneliness, social isolation, and social support for the homeless. So how will I do this? Well, through mixed methods, through qualitative interviews and quantitative surveys. So firstly, through these semi-structured interviews with different homeless people, exploring how they personally construct and understand their loneliness. The findings from this will then go on towards helping to build the survey, and in particular, a measure of social isolation that directly caters to the homeless population in a way that existing ones did not. The survey will provide prevalence data on loneliness and will also help to determine what the predictors of this loneliness are. So will it be the size of one's network, or how many female companions one has, or isn't just the feeling of being marginalised? Only time will tell. All of my data will be analysed through an intersectional framework which acknowledges the way that different aspects of a person's identity in combination influences how they'll experience loneliness. So for example, we know that people who are transgender and mentally ill are often ostracised by others in the homeless community. This no doubt has an influence on how they experience their social lives and therefore their loneliness. My thesis will provide a more nuanced understanding about how different homeless people experience loneliness, and will ultimately go to inform future homeless policy and interventions on how to better deal with this issue. Thank you.